Congratulations on selling your home. But aren't you a little curious what the closing costs might be? Come with me. Selling your house can be so stressful, packing up everything, new surroundings, so many changes. But you know what's even more stressful is not knowing what your costs are going to be, not knowing what you're going to end up with. Hi, I'm Valerie Vanderslover with eXp Realty, and on today's episode of OC Vibes, we're going to go through those costs line by line and step by step so that you'll feel better and you'll know what you can expect when your home is sold and closed. Come with me. So one of the larger and important fees is title insurance. So what is title insurance? Well, title insurance is important to both the buyer and the seller. And the seller pays an amount that's a little bit larger than what the buyer pays, because the seller is paying for the title company to insure the title and to guarantee the buyer that there's nothing associated with the title to the property that would keep the buyer from either getting a loan or having a clear title, making sure that when he buys the home, you actually own it and you have the right to sell it. So it's strictly associated with the sales price of the home. The higher the sales price, the higher the title insurance fees are going to be. The next fee you're going to see when selling your home is escrow fees. And actually the escrow officer and the escrow company is very important to your transaction because it's someone that you deal with all during the transaction. So it's easy to see how much work they put into it. They prepare all of the escrow instructions that the buyer and seller sign to make sure that the terms of the transaction are agreed upon. They make sure that the loan is being paid off so that you're getting a house that has no liens against it. They also make sure that anybody who has any paperwork that's affiliated with the property or the transaction, that they coordinate all of that. So they get homeowners association documents, they get any disclosures that need to go through escrow. Those are passed through escrow often and then on to the buyers and or the sellers. And they strictly collect all of that paperwork, go through it, look for any problems or any issues that aren't consistent, and they only act and close the escrow when both the buyer and the seller are in complete agreement with all of the terms of the transaction. If I were to give you a sports analogy, the escrow officer is kind of like the quarterback of your transaction. They make sure that everybody's doing their job, everybody has done their job, and that everybody on the team is running in the same direction, and that the transaction is closed on time and with no hiccups. Another fee that you see quite often is the 1-year home warranty, where the buyer has asked you to give them a 1-year insurance policy for the systems, electrical and plumbing systems, and certain features of the home. So why is that important? Well, when you sell them the home, you disclose things that you think are in working order, but they might not work the day after the escrow closes. Something breaks. And in this case, then the buyer can call the home warranty company and have it repaired or fixed for a minimal charge, and that takes a lot of that liability off of you. So it is important that you negotiate that in the transaction. Sometimes the right agent will make sure that that isn't a cost that you have to pay. Typically, they may start in the $400 range, but they could go much higher, and it's going to depend on whether you have air conditioning, whether you have a pool filter, whether they want a roof certification, whether they want a premium plan. So be sure that you don't always just accept what they're asking for, but that you try to give them something that's fair, but you don't always have to pay too much for that either. Now, one thing that a lot of sellers don't account for is homeowners association fees. If you are in not only just a condominium, but in a community that has a master plan association, there are fees involved with the transfer of your membership in that association. The association needs to provide copies of all the homeowners association documents. You need to make your final payment on the dues for the month that you close. And sometimes if you're in certain neighborhoods, you'll have 2 associations and you'll have fees for both of those. So be sure that you account for those when you're planning what your net is going to be. If you decide to use a realtor to assist you with the sale and closing of your home, you're going to see the real estate commission on your closing statement. And sometimes people don't really know how that works. You hire the listing agent, and that person works primarily for you. But they share their commission with the buyer's agent. So they offer some of their commission to the other agents to bring the buyer to your home. And the listing agent does all the marketing, does much of the work, and again, they're your quarterback also to make sure that they coordinate all the teams and do all the scheduling, all the marketing, make sure your home gets sold for top dollar and that it closes on time and that you net the most possible with the sale of your home. The reason why it's important to offer commission to buyer's agents is that 85% of buyers come to your home through realtors. So it's very important that we give your home the most eyeballs possible, the most positioning we can, make sure that as many people see it as possible. Those realtors are going to bring their buyers to your home. So by offering them a fair commission, you're going to be sure that your home gets the most realtors looking at it. And you're going to see a few other small fees on your closing statement. Some of those are going to be the prorations of the payoff of your existing loan, the payoff of your taxes, and the payoff of maybe your association fees. So those are prorated so that you're charged only until the day the escrow closes, and the next day the buyer takes over those costs. As you can see, there's a lot of little details and a lot of different fees that are involved in the closing of your home. But when you hire the right agent, you're going to have a clear understanding of all those fees. They'll give you a breakdown, item by item, of what you can expect based on the anticipated closing date of your escrow, so that you can anticipate what you will net when your escrow closes. You certainly don't want any big surprises, and you certainly want to make sure that you net as much as you possibly can. So be sure that you get all that information in advance, and of course be sure that you hire the right realtor to represent you. I hope this video helped you as we went through the closing costs, and now it can give you a better idea of exactly what you can expect to net for your home when you sell it, because after all, it's not the sales price, it's how much you net that really counts. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, subscribe to our channel above, and reach out. I'd love to prepare for you a separate, individualized net sheet so that you can know exactly what you can expect for the sale of your home. My name again is Valerie Vandes over with eXp Realty. Join us for the next episode of OC Vibes, where we're going to take you someplace that'll make you feel good so you can live better.